Welcome! Today we're diving into a really powerful concept, the masterful mind. We're going to look at how we can shift from those simple gut-level reactions to making intentional, wise choices in our everyday lives. So let's get right into it. We're going to kick things off with this incredible verse from Romans. It draws this direct, unmistakable line between our mindset and our destiny. The idea here is that if your mind is set on the spirit, the outcome, well, it's life and peace. And this isn't just some nice, fluffy thought. It's presented as a core spiritual truth. So how does this actually play out day to day? When we feel cornered or pressured, we're often told we've only got two choices: fight back or run for the hills. But what if there's a third way, a much more powerful path? That's exactly what we're exploring today, the path of mastery. Okay, so let's first get a handle on what we're usually up against. You've heard of the fight or flight response, right? It's our brain's ancient survival mechanism. It's totally instinctual, it's incredibly fast, and honestly, it can be pretty destructive. The moment it kicks in, adrenaline floods our system, and our ability to make a truly free, wise, moral choice just goes out the window. Just think about road rage, right? Someone cuts you off, and suddenly your brain treats it like a life or death battle. That's this response in action. And this right here is the big question. When you're facing that pressure, whether it's a passive-aggressive comment at work or a challenge that feels overwhelming, are we just stuck with either blowing up or shutting down? The answer we're given is a loud and clear no. There is another way. And wow, this chart just lays out the difference so clearly. Over on one side, you've got the total chaos of fight or flight, instinctual, destructive, fueled by adrenaline. But on the other side, that's our third option, mastery. It's described as wise and spirit-filled. And get this, it's not about ignoring your feelings. It's about choosing your response with real balance and poise, which lets you focus on finding solutions instead of just reacting to problems. So where can we see a perfect picture of this in action? Well, the text points us to the ultimate example. In every single situation he faced, Jesus is shown to have this incredible mastery. He never, ever gave in to a knee-jerk instinctual reaction. Think about the temptation in the wilderness. He's face-to-face with pure evil. The pressure is just off the charts. But he doesn't lash out in rage, and he doesn't run away. No, he masters the entire situation with the quiet, unshakable power of Scripture. Or what about his arrest in the garden? This is a moment of total betrayal, of immediate physical threat. And what does he do? Not fight, not flight. He just stands his ground with a kind of poise and authority that is completely counterintuitive, isn't it? And this mastery just continues right through his trial. He's facing this horribly unjust situation, and the text highlights his amazing degree of personal mastery. He doesn't panic, he doesn't get angry, he stays in complete control. That right there is the essence of a masterful mind. So, if that's the gold standard, how in the world do we start to apply it to our own lives? Okay, so that's a seriously powerful example. But let's get practical. How do we actually start walking this path? How do we move this from being a cool idea to something we actually do? Well, we're given a pretty clear roadmap. And this is where it gets really interesting. Because before we even get to the how-to techniques, the source lays out these absolute prerequisites. It says this foundation has to be there first. You need a new nature from God, you need to be filled with the Spirit to have power over the flesh, and you have to be single-minded. Because a double-minded person is just unstable in everything they do. So once that foundation is firmly in place, then we can start building on it. Then we can get into the practical, nitty-gritty details of how to apply this spiritual reality to our emotional responses every single day. The first set of tools is all about awareness. It's so simple, but think about it. You can't change something if you don't even notice it's happening. This is all about learning to be an observer of what's going on inside you when the pressure's on. So here's the key. Just start paying attention. Seriously, are your fists clenched? Is your neck all tense and rigid? That's your body getting ready for a fight. Notice how fast your anger or your fear just shoots up. And then here's the big one. Question it. Ask yourself, okay, is this really a life or death situation, or am I letting a small thing hijack my brain? That kind of self-awareness is the absolute first step to getting back in the driver's seat. All right, so once you're aware of that internal storm brewing, the next step is to deliberately choose a different path. This is all about shifting from an automatic reaction to an intentional, pre-planned action. And these tips are so practical.
If you feel yourself gearing up for an attack, the advice is simple. Just disengage, pull back, go for a walk, let yourself cool down. Another awesome tool is mental rehearsal. You decide ahead of time how you're going to respond to that difficult person or that stressful situation, and you practice it in your mind. You're literally training your brain for a masterful response instead of a reactive one. The whole goal is to just deny that first impulse to hit back and instead to choose a higher road.
And really, this brings us full circle. This idea of mastery isn't just about trying harder or having more willpower. It's about using the one tool we have direct control over, our mind. By disciplining our mind, by focusing it on God and His truth, we build that bridge out of emotional chaos and straight into the life and peace that Romans 8:6 was talking about. So I'll leave you with this to think about. As you look at the week ahead, where is one spot, one situation, maybe one relationship, where you can make an intentional choice for a masterful spirit-led response instead of just defaulting to fight or flight? It's a choice we all get to make.